Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
And I'm John, and welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod in which we'll challenge one another to discuss movies, both new and old, with a strictly positive, critical eye, bitch.
That's right. And to avoid lazy negativity, we decided to make this episode a drinking game. So anytime we say anything negative at all about each other, about this film, about how Dave only says I love you when he's scared, which is why a lot of spiders have been professed love to, you're going to hear this sound? That sound means we're taking a drink, and we hope you drink along with us.
So pour yourselves a glass and let's go back to a simpler time when nobody looked out the window when you're burying a body in the field next to their house.
Oh my God, dude. Cheers.
I did have a note, which was we have seen way more detective movies and shows than the characters in this movie have.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm finding my coaster. That's right, people. We are talking about 1984's Blood Simple. The random year generator spun 1984. We have been here before. Do you two remember what movie we did last time 1984 was spun?
It wasn't
Oh my
1984.
God. Paris, Texas?
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, John, yes! Paris, Texas, Vim Vendors. I think still to date, the only Vim Vendors I've ever seen. I hate to out myself like that so early in the podcast, so that's for me. Yes, Paris, Texas. And of course, during the franchise, the summer blockbuster face-off. But I don't want to give anything away because that might be box office related. So if you're new to the show, we're going to get to eventually, not that it's that far away, we're going to get to our conversation about the Coen Brothers' first feature film, Blood Simple, from 1984, starring little Frances McDormand. You might recognize her from the Oscars. If you ever watched any of those, you probably won one.
Yep. You've definitely seen her.
Her first film. This is her first feature as well. 1984. We're to give you the setup. That's why we do it here. So brief, because we've already been here. I'm going to keep it brief today. I swear. I say it every week, but I'm going to be brief.
Show us your brief.
What was happening in the world and what was happening. The movie year in 1984 was incredible. It was, so we have to review it. We have a couple mini reviews. John and I saw some new films. Dave, you got a new TV show you want to prep for the end of the episode.
Yeah.
You don't want to tell us what it is yet.
Nope.
Okay, so you got to get to the end of the episode to hear our recommendations about that. And I guess that's it. That's the show. We drink, we talk about movies, and we used to be roommates. It's pretty fun. John, you want to shout our sponsors out so we can get moving?
Yeah, sure. Carlos Barroso makes beer. The handle is cbarroso.beer. And you can follow it. He makes the beer on the Instagram. He talks about it. Sometimes he sends it to us. Sometimes we get to drink it. It's all delicious. Carlos, what's up,
put
man?
Me in rehab twice.
Only twice.
No, you can't back that up.
No, you can't do that. I don't think that's true. Carlos Barroso, the beer making man. We also have a music artist in residence by the name Dasein, Dasein, that provide music for this episode, last episode, every single episode.
He's put me in this rehab twice, too.
Oh yeah, and the beer making connoisseur is called a Cicero. I forgot to say that last time.
A Cicero, because they fly too close to the sun, or what? Like, what is this?
Beer making.
Oh, that's beer making. Shit, what is Cicero? Oh fuck, man, I gotta buzz myself. I'm such an ass.
A beer making sommelier. Oh god damn it! I looked up what you guys were talking. I meant to fucking write it down. Cicero? Is that right? Anyway, it's coming out. That's what he is. I'm drinking. All
right, drinks are real.
Those are our sponsors. Let's keep going.
Shot to get us drinking. Okay, so we're going to do some news in a second, but let's go ahead and fire off some mini reviews so we can tell people.
Cicerone.
What the fuck is that?
Cicerone.
Okay. I don't know what those fucking S's were.
A certified beer
that's anybody listening.
Expert.
That's anybody listening on noise cancellation, and they just hear like going through their.
Everyone in Australia is up on the chair. They think there's a fucking snake.
Aw.
Okay.
Hello, our Australian listeners.
All right, I'm going first with my mini review. Are you ready?
Yes.
Sure.
So last week, I went to the cinema for an early access IMAX screening of the English dub of Ninja 2. Now, why did I see this movie? Well, I saw that, Lilo and Stitch 2 crossed $1 million at the box office, and Minecraft is up to $1 million. And then there's this movie out of China.
Billion dollars.
Just buzz me. Just fucking buzz me and get on with it.
Yeah, sure. You fucking practice.
And then I saw that the highest grossing, I was like, oh, which one's the highest grossing movie of the year? Lilo and Stitch 2 or Minecraft? And there's a movie out of China that has made $2 billion. And it has basically only been in Asia until this English dub, which is going to make its way around the West. And I wanted to see it. And I had heard the CEO of IMAX talk about how they were doing a partnership and they were going to be releasing this in IMAX. The glasses on one side were so opaque that no fewer than 5 people were returning their glasses while I was checking in. That is how like up to date this 3D is. People didn't even, they turned the glasses on. They're like, these are dirty. And the person had to explain to everyone. Anyway, this is the follow-up to the 2019 movie by Yu Yang. The story itself is ancient lore, but it's also loosely based off of a 16th century novel. And it's got everything you want if you like old Chinese lore. It has demons, it has gods, it has immortals and mortals, it has action in the sky, it has splitting of earth, it has dragons, it has mythical creatures on
dogs and cats living together.
Dogs and cats. It has demons like changing bodies and such. I will say this. It is 2 hours and 23 minutes, and it is so much movie.
Oh, wow.
It was a really tiring experience. It really felt like an event. My theater was not full. I really expected the advanced, like the early access of the Michelle Yeoh produced, and she does a dub. Michelle Yeoh has her name all over this dub. I really expected it to be full because I can't see fucking shit. Sinners sells out every single seat for every single, possible showing at this screening, the Lincoln Square IMAX. And mine was like half full on this early access thing. But people were applauding. It really was wild. It really was amazing. It's just so much movie. There's so much plot. I didn't see the first one, I admit, but they caught me up pretty well. I wonder if I do want to go back and see the first. But yeah, the only comp I can give it is Spider-Verse because there's just so much epic shit being drawn. And you're like, how do they do this without AI? I have no idea. There's just the action sequences are stunning and amazing. It's just a whole lot of movies, so be prepared for it. But I highly recommend it when it comes out to see what the fuss is about. And technically, if you look at Box Office Mojo, they have it at 1.9 billion. So I don't know if there's an exchange rate thing or if we just live in a time where if you don't like your numbers, you fire the person who made the numbers and say whatever number you want. I don't know. Truth matters, I think. But it just call it the $2 billion animated movie, the highest grossing animated movie of all time, and see what all the fuss is about. I thought it was great. It's just a whole lot of movie.
2 hours and 23 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty long for an animated movie that's not aimed at adults.
There were so many characters.
But if you've seen it on IMAX, it's your money's worth.
A lot of twists. It was really well done. It was really cool.
Nice. I saw Nobody 2, and it was really fun. It's fun in the theater. The audience had a good time. There were people laughing along, hooting and hollering. A few moments where if you like that franchise, somebody messes with him or his family, and you could hear the audience be like, "Oh shit!" They're like, he's about to just fucking kill somebody or really fuck with somebody. People were laughing out loud. It was the best thing I'll say about this is that the first one has some genuine, realistic, dramatic tension that they try to build and try to really bring you into the world of this guy. This one, sometimes sequels try to repeat that exact tone and keep it really grounded. This one knew that it could go fun in the second sequel.
Cool. And
still have the same audience come back and watch. So this one is just for fun. It is not, I don't think you should go in there expecting anything more than that, and you'll have a great time. And that's not a negative criticism. That's kind of what I wanted from this. I didn't want them to take themselves too seriously. And what I'm really excited about is that I think they may have set them up for potential to be a little bit more sincere the third time and kind of bring you back to that place of, oh yeah, but this is actually, there are real consequences to this kind of life and shit. Anyway, it was fun. You should go see it. It was a good time.
On the heels of Naked Gun 2, so it's or the new Leslie Neeson.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Nielsen.
Oh my God. Jeff just had a stroke on the show in real life. Are you okay? You're drooping.
Don't go into the light,
of
Jeff.
The new Liam Neeson. I tried to combine Leslie.
Elizabeth and I were talking about that. Leslie Nielsen and Liam Neeson. Did anybody know they had the same fucking initials?
That's too confusing. All right. I'm glad I'm not alone. Anyway, this is 2 adult comedies in a row. So is it almost like they just, did I go out?
What just happened to your mic?
Yeah.
I don't know, but am I better now?
No, you're on your headset.
Yeah.
Now.
Anyway, okay, cool. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, yeah, cool. So Jeff's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, Jeff's.
I'm a bit of a dick. My microphone's still going on my actual recording, so I don't think the public knows what's going on. There you go. How's that? The public doesn't have no idea what's going on. Yeah, Dave, cut it out. Wait, let me go back to this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Leslie
You fucked it up
Nielsen
again.
and Liam Neeson have basically the same name. You talked about it with Elizabeth. I'm glad I'm not alone. 2 adult comedies in August. Was it just because it was slow and they were like, we know we need to get adult comedies back. Let's throw these in there. Like, why is it that both of these movies just happen to be coming out around the same time?
I don't think Nobody is that kind of comedy. And I know you're not directly comparing it to like a Smothers Brothers. Smothers?
Right.
Is that their name?
I don't know. This is
Dave,
ruining our
who
credibility.
made The Naked Guns and Airplane and you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, you guys are a film podcast. Somebody look it up.
Yeah, we also drink a lot.
They
won.
They didn't teach us at fancy film school, huh, John?
No, we didn't take a class on them. They didn't offer the deep dive into those guys. We should seriously look it up, though. Somebody look it up while I'm talking.
Okay, I got it.
Nobody Won is not a outright comedy.
No,
That's what's so. It's by the John Wick writer. It's in that space of a little bit of satire on that kind of ridiculous action comedy where one person can really like take down an entire syndicate because they have an amazing backstory of ability. But it's not a comedy. I wouldn't say that with a capital C. I think I heard Bob Odenkirk say one time that one reason he was so excited to take on this role is because there's no irony. It isn't that kind of comedy. He really did have to play it seriously, and not seriously in the way that Leslie Nielsen played those jokes seriously. Not a criticism. They're just different kinds of movies. Nobody 2 is much more of what I would call a comedy, just because they kind of already have the audience knowing what is going to happen, so they can play with your expectations a little bit. RZA and Christopher Lloyd are back. If anybody enjoyed the first one, anyway, whatever. Go see it. I'm done talking about it. It's a good movie.
Are you talking about the Zucker brothers?
Zucker brothers. Jesus Christ! I have so many friends who are.
I was going to say that.
Mother
be so
Zucker.
mad at me. Mother Zucker.
That's a bad joke. That's a bad
All right,
joke.
they're great. They're great. We make bad jokes on the show. All right. Let me talk about the other.
No,
one.
I make
Very
bad
quickly.
jokes on the show. This is a problem that Jeff's doing it now.
Eden. Have you guys heard of this movie? Did you know it was
heard of
coming
The
out?
Garden.
Have you heard about it coming out?
I'm just getting sick of one-name movies. I'm just so sick of them.
Well, they got to make it on the fucking. They got to make it on the fucking. The streamers. They got to have one title now. That's what everybody keeps telling everybody.
I hate it.
All right, are you ready for this cast? I'm going to read it out to you, and you tell me why you think you've never heard of this movie. Jude Law, Ana de Armas, Vanessa Kirby, Daniel Brühl, Sydney Sweeney.
Harvey Firestein.
That is the cast.
Jesus.
And there are other people, but they're just that cast is in an ensemble film, a period piece set on one of the islands of the Galapagos, made by Ron Howard, and you've never heard of this movie, right? I had never heard of this movie.
2024.
But it's out now. It came out this weekend. Was the first weekend that it
We've
was
never
out.
heard of this movie because the studio's like,
nah,
nah, it's not going to do anything.
Did they have to kill the ads after the jeans controversy?
I have no idea if that had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
What I will say is that I think you should go see this movie because I really want to hear what you guys have to think about it. I have to say about it. First of all, it's actually shot outside. Like the whole thing. I have not seen a movie with that level and that amount of stars in the elements. And I really couldn't remember. I was like, there's something really refreshing about seeing this. These people who are really fucking famous and very talented for the most part, right? I mean, that's a talented cast. And they were all there dealing with each other. It's designed really well. The editing is really good. The shot design is really good. The reason I think that this movie isn't really poking through is I just want to point it out because I think it's a real sign of the times. This is about people from Germany who were escaping fascism after World War I, before World War II, in the late 20s, early 30s. And they wanted to build this new kind of life as isolated islanders off the Galapagos because Vanessa Kirby and Jude Law's characters got there first, and they kind of got famous in writing letters to magazines and newspapers about their life there. The point I'm trying to make is that there's so much good international television now, and it's mostly streaming TV, that I don't know if we can really swallow having 4 or 5 famous actors do German accents anymore and just know that they don't all sound totally authentic anymore. And that is not a slight to anybody individually. It just was really telling to me, like 10 years ago, I think this movie would have been a huge hit. We've just come a long way in terms of like what we're willing to swallow. So if you were somebody, I just want to say this very, very
also,
clearly.
it could be that like Netflix and stuff is getting a lot more foreign content on the platform.
That's what I'm saying,
that sort of
dude.
thing. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So we're being exposed to actual German accents.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, did you hear that fucking cast? Of course, that's how this movie got funded. And Ron Howard directing it, and Imagine being involved, vertical releasing. Like, these are big people. Right. So what broke my heart a little bit is that I think we're in a place now where, unfortunately, for a director at Ron Howard's A-list level, I don't think he could have painted on a canvas that large without those A-list names in there. But we are now at a place where I don't know if most audiences could swallow the lack of authenticity of not actually seeing Germans on screen, other than Daniel Brühl. Is he German, Austrian, somewhere from there?
Yeah, and Felix Kammerer from All Quiet on the Western Front.
There you go, and he was great in it. He was everybody was good in it. You guys, it's just I just don't know if you're some people who are really sensitive to accents and dialects not being entirely authentic may not be able to get past that. And I think if you saw it, you would have some opinions on it that I don't need to speak to personally. I still enjoyed the filmmaking so much. And I was so fucking excited to see A-listers really dealing with each other in complicated scenes with a really well-designed, really well-edited movie shot in the elements that I got past it. But that's my only guess for why this thing isn't screaming out with more commercial success.
That's in theaters now?
It's in theaters now. It came out this weekend, and I didn't see a single ad, and I live in fucking Los Angeles, dude. I haven't seen a billboard anywhere about this movie. The only reason I saw this is because I scrolled to the bottom of my A-list AMC app, and I saw Eden. I was like, what is that? And I saw directed by Ron Howard, and I watched the trailer, and I saw all these faces, and I was like, what the fuck? There's no way this is bad. and I did not think it was bad. I enjoyed watching it. There were some gripping sequences in it. Gripping. I want you guys to go see it so you can tell me if you think that it's just the accents or whatever.
I'm sure it's going to be good. Metacritic's 59. That's low. Metacritic's 59.
I know, dude. I know. And I just want to know if you guys think it's just accents. Ana de Armas plays a crazy villainess, and she's fucking amazing at it. She's so good. So much of the acting is so good. So much of the shot. I don't know. Anyway. I want you guys to see it just so you can fucking tell me what you thought. Nobody else is going to watch this movie, and I feel like it's just a weird sign of the times.
I'll see if I can fit it in this week.
That's what she said. Okay, Dave. I actually don't.
You're both getting one.
I don't know if I can fit it in this week, but I'm going to try on your recommendation.
See, I'm
going to a wedding again this weekend. Weddings take days. It's like multiple days. And then the night before I go to a wedding, I guess I could, but I have a meeting. I can't go the night before. Fuck. Anyway.
They're so inconsiderate.
Dave, you want to gripe about anything?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Sorry, I talked for a very long time. I'm sorry.
No, it was good.
Did you have a gripe and you're canceling it because I waxed?
No, I did not have a gripe.
Okay.
I don't have a real gripe, but this is the only thing. It's kind of news related, but it's kind of gripe. It's just kind of a gripe too. Highest to lowest. So we saw High to Low, which is
thank you for bringing it up.
Kurosawa's like quote unquote like set in modern time. It was in the 60s, right? And it's brilliant. Every time you see like Spike Lee's new movie with Denzel, it's like based on the masterpiece, Kurosawa's masterpiece, and nobody even talks about High to Lows. Or High to Low. You usually talk about Rashomon and usually talk about Seven Samurai when you talk about Kurosawa or Yojimbo or whatever. So there's a fucking dispute because it's Apple. They had a 3-week window, but Cinemark and AMC are refusing to air it because it's going to go to Apple. And so you have to go to these smaller theaters, which is fine. I love supporting the small theater, but it's basically getting fucking like tied around the mouth, like gun to the head. Like it's as if this movie is getting completely shackled.
So wait, are they refusing to screen it because they're not fitting into the release window that they want?
No, I don't think they like the contract with Apple. They've done this with like a lot of the other Apple movies too. They just will not screen this movie out of spite because they know it's going right to Apple after this, and it's probably going to be a rental or whatever. And I think they think it's going to be hurting their profits or whatever. But Cinemark, it is going to Regals, but the 4 closest movie theaters to me are AMC. So I'm an A-list member, and I'm not just like an AMC ride or die. I'm going to rent this on Apple, but I can't rent it for another week or two. And it's just like, it's like, AMC, get the fuck over yourself. This is the world we live in. It's boom or bust. And I don't, it's just really frustrating and annoying to me that I cannot get this movie in an AMC theater for 3 weeks because they're spiting themselves, basically.
That's interesting.
What do you think I was going to gripe about?
I'm siding on AMC on this one because I think Apple probably has so much leverage that the other companies folded, and I am always going to be a part of having a longer theatrical window, and I wish it was industry standard.
Yeah.
I wish they weren't always budgeting and hedging against each other to see who can get the best deal with somebody, because then it's just a fucking wild, wild west. And I just don't think that's fair to the exhibitors.
Okay, you're right. I'm the asshole in the situation. So what did you think I was going to gripe about? No, you're right. You're right, though. I was being selfish. What did you think I was going to gripe about, though?
No, I was just excited you were bringing it up because I was so frustrated that we're still watching, and this is just from somebody who I don't know what the fuck is happening in these boardrooms, but Apple's film wing is being managed with we'll see when we finish the movie what we're going to do exhibition-wise. And it's just a little frustrating for somebody who loves movies because I like the consistency of knowing that, an A-list star and an A-list director made a movie. Of course it's going to the movie theater.
Yeah, just fucking,
it's only going to some movie theaters for like a week. And then it's going to our platform. It's like, no offense, but I don't want to watch that fucking movie on my platform. This isn't a year later and I missed the release, so now it's on me. I want to go watch this movie in the theater, but I'm a subscriber to one of the giant chains. I'm trying to get my bang for my buck because movies are way too expensive nowadays. And you can't ask people to go one-off every time they want to go see a movie. It's too expensive.
Well, that's okay. So streaming's not that cheap anymore. The Apple just put their cost up to $12.99.
I know, dude. It's everything added up now. If you have all the basic streamers, it's way more than we used to pay for cable and then some.
We talked about this last week.
One additional channel.
The average cable bill in 2010 was about $100, which was up from $73. Or 2018 was $110, which is up from $73 in 2010. And right now, if you add up your bundles, but then again, and we talked about this too, a lot of the credit cards, like Angela and I have 2 different credit cards. One of the reasons is so that we can get the different perks. And we are part of the reason to blame because that's not really money. I don't know who's paying them. I don't know how that's working. We get free upgrades at the airline, but I don't think that's good for airline travel because they're just going to jack prices up to make that money up somehow. Anyway,
I just hate when there's a difference between the companies. It's not that I feel bad for them. We're talking about all these companies are struggling. So of course I feel bad for them in the sense that I want to be a part of a community that's supporting physical exhibition. And I think we want people to go to the movie theaters.
Right.
And when you don't have industry standards and they're out on their own negotiating contracts with giant fucking tech companies that are not movie making companies, they're tech companies. They don't stand a chance in negotiate. What the fuck do they? They have no chance.
I will give you one thing. I was in Netflix's theater the other day, the Paris theater.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Which didn't used to be Netflix's theater, of course.
Holy fuck, that thing looks beautiful. The projector is like a brand new fucking high HD, like ultra HD, obviously, projector, but it's clear as crystal. It looks amazing.
Did you ever see anything there before Netflix bought it?
Same thing here. Netflix bought the Egyptian, which was a Grauman theater, like the Chinese.
Oh, the Chinese, the Egyptian theater.
And they're in a great deal with Cinematheque, where Cinematheque runs it on the weekends and Netflix exhibits during the week, or the reverse. But Netflix paid for everything, which is I'm not opposed to any of these things at all. It's just, at least with Netflix, we know it's a rarity when they release. I don't know. I guess I just want some consistency. I'm really confused that
I'm with you.
That one of our best filmmakers and like a gigantic A-list film star like Denzel Washington, why am I not able to see that at every movie theater in America right now? I don't know. It's weird. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I have one.
But then again, that's also partly to Spike. Spike, he took the money from Apple and he knew what he was getting into. Okay. Sorry.
I just thought this was really funny. Hit me with a gripe timer.
You're on.
Jeff and I get a newsletter called The Dailies, and we get some updated news on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I saw
boring
one
week this week, I will say.
But I just couldn't. This little blurb the headline of this little blurb is Disney's ditching franchises to lure Gen Z men back to theaters. Because Gen Z men apparently aren't responding the way, maybe they were at some point, but they're no longer responding to repeat franchises and superhero franchises. So the Disney execs are going out on a limb and trying to look for original material. Gripe fucking finished. What the fuck?
Oh, hello.
Are you kidding me?
Did they remember that shit exists?
Honestly, I was like, this is headline news? What the fuck?
They're going out of their way.
Fuck?
I mean, I expect that shit out of Warner Brothers, not Disney.
Hey, really, the guys are just making.
If you think about it, it was all based on tales and fables, so it's not like their stories were original. If you want to,
this is a company
there are no original ideas anymore.
This is a company. I'm not associating them with what Marvel is doing necessarily, because we talk about Marvel a lot, and they're their own wing of the company. Just Disney. If we're just talking about what their famous franchises and famous IP that they pre-owned before Marvel, let's just say that most of the ones that they are repeating right now, when did they come out? In the 80s and 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
And were they based on previous IP? No. It's insane to me.
Yes, but the IP
we have
was
to go
based
around
from like the
cycles.
1800s, like the Grimms.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like,
sure. Yeah, they were technically, a lot of them were based on not original IP. They were based on stories, novels, fairy tales.
That was well in the public domain.
Yeah, yes.
It is kind of fucking crazy.
I saw a follow-up to that too. That was like, gee, I wonder what teenage boys are interested in. Can anybody help? Maybe we're screwed. It's like
they said, here's the sentence. They're actively seeking pitches for original concepts, parentheses, like globe-trotting adventures and treasure hunts.
And twins. Yeah.
Also funny that some of the stuff, and twins, that's great, Dave. Also funny that some of the stuff that they bought, Star Wars, one of the best original ideas of all time, everything Pixar related, Toy Story, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, some of the most interesting original ideas of all time. Yeah. But honestly, Disney's biggest hit, I think, or at least their biggest franchise, is the Pirates movies, which is based on a fucking ride, which is an original idea. So you're right, John. The whole thing is hilarious.
It's funny you brought up Marvel, because Marvel had a bit of bad news this week because they're not doing as well as they wanted to, like Fantastic Four, which is a fucking tentpole. Like the first family of Marvel, the movie came out, Superman creamed it. Superman just crossed 600 million, and Marvel's holding steady about 450.
Right, and then they bought Marvel and everything. They said that's great IP.
DC and they said, beat Marvel for the first time ever, or for the first time in a long time.
Good for DC.
Wow.
All right,
and it's still going.
I don't know if it's my phone or my stream deck that's not working, but anyway, I'm going to keep.
I'm sorry
I swear
I
I'm going to.
so much.
No. This is great. I'm going to keep this next section choppy because we've already been in 1984. And if you want to know more about 1984, go back to our Paris, Texas episode. It's a great episode. It's a fantastic film, but just at least listen to the blurb. I promise you, it's worth it. Let's keep it going though. I looked at 3 different sources this time for the top grossing movie of 1984, and all 3 sources had a different movie. So you have, for the first time ever, but let me see if my thing works here. No, I don't know if it's my phone or my stream deck. Something's not working. But anyway, for the first time ever, we have 3 possible correct answers. One is Wikipedia, one is the numbers, and one is Box Office Mojo. What was the highest grossing movie that came out in the year 1984?
Ghostbusters?
And you can't fucking lose. Yes, John, I can't buzz you. I can't gush you, unfortunately, because my fucking Safari isn't working or whatever. But Ghostbusters was the correct choice on, it looks like, Wikipedia.
Did Terminator come out there?
Yeah.
Terminator did come out this year, and it is not it's not in... No, it's not anywhere near the top.
Wow.
Oh, it's number 11. It's number 11.
I have your other number 1.
Okay, well, you have two more number 1s.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
You have 2 more. Beverly Hills Cop?
Beverly Hills Cop was the number 1, and it was widely considered the most popular movie, barring maybe Ghostbusters. They were widely in contention. So this looks like this is the numbers. The numbers has Beverly Hills Cop.
Didn't Ghostbusters come out at the end of the year?
But the number, what came, Dave?
No, I'm just saying it came out at the end of the year.
The numbers usually does exactly. The numbers usually does the year. So you're right. That came up during our box office, our summer face off. There's one more number 1 though that is from this has to be the numbers. So maybe let's say one that came out earlier. Although Beverly Hills Cop did come out for I forget when that came out, but it came out earlier in the year. What was the highest grossing?
Be Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
All right, you guys nailed all 3 of them. That's really good. Nice. Dave, I don't know what's going on with my stream deck. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi, but I can't buzz you guys.
Here, let me check mine. Mine works.
Okay,
I drank.
Okay. Okay, pick your poison. Do you want to do Beverly Hills? Do you want to do Wikipedia? Do you want to do the numbers, or do you want to do Box Office Mojo?
Whatever you usually use. Do you switch it up each week?
It depends. It depends. I try to stay with Box Office Mojo though, so I'll go to Box Office Mojo. Okay. Number 4 is Gremlins with $154 million worldwide.
Nice.
Number
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All of those movies are somewhere in the mid 200s, except the numbers puts Indiana Jones.
I bought that just to watch at Christmas.
It's so good. It's still good.
And they still didn't really trust foreign box office here in the 1984. Like it's mostly the domestic numbers that they're going off of, but the foreign box office they didn't.
Yeah, we need
trust. So
post-Cold War box office.
I was about to say,
Wikipedia is pretty good. Yeah,
in the heart of the Cold War.
Number 5. I thought this would have been a cult hit, even though we've been here before. The Karate Kid. The Karate Kid number 1 came in at number 5. Big cultural moment there. Number 6,
wow.
Police Academy.
Those were so much fun.
Number 7, Footloose.
Sure.
Yeah.
Number 8, Romancing the Stone.
I remember that.
Number 9, Dave, Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Yeah, pulled a whammy.
Pulled a whammy? Speaking of wham, more on that later. Number 8, where is that? Romancing the Stone, Star Trek 3. Oh, and then Splash. Splash comes in here at number 10 with $69 million. Nice. Just beating out Purple Rain. Purple Rain made $68 million, guys. And Amadeus made $51 million, which would win Best Picture at the Oscars, and it won Best Director and Best Actor and such. But fuck yeah, there you go. The Natural, Tightrope, Revenge of the Nerds, Bachelor Party, the original Terminator. This list has them down at 20. Gremlins, yeah, like you said. Think about this. Gremlins, The Terminator, Ghostbusters, Beverly Hills Cop, the second Indiana Jones movie, The Police Academy. All of these movies that spun spin-offs. 1984 was a fucking awesome year at the movies. There's more movies. What movies do you guys want to shout out that I did not already mention?
Did you mention David Lynch's Dune in there?
I did not. That was not high in the box office.
Even he won't talk about it.
That's right.
Yeah, that one is not there.
It's not that high in the box office.
I wanted to point out that the movie we're talking about, I think it's cool to make this connection. This is the Coen Brothers' first movie, Blood Simple, and this year was also in the year 1984. The movie 1984 was released, which was filmed and shot by Roger Deakins. So I think it's cool that they all started the same year. I didn't realize that Deakins. I knew 1984 came out this year. I always forgot that Blood Simple came out this year, and I didn't know they started at the same time. I think that's really fucking cool.
Yes, but unfortunately, Deakins and the Coens hadn't met yet, so we needed the guy who directed Wild Wild West to go ahead and do the cinematography for Blood Simple.
I wanted to call out the Killing Fields. That is a heavy movie, but it is. You guys know I'm very fascinated by Vietnam, so you should check that movie out.
The Killing Fields won Best Supporting Actor at some awards. The Killing Fields was for the awards for sure.
Yeah.
Sam Waterston. If anybody's a Sam Waterston SVU fan, go back and watch him starring in this movie as a journalist in Vietnam. It's very powerful. Children of the Corn. The VHS cover of this used to scare the shit out of me.
Oh my God. Yes. I had nightmares. I saw this at my friend James Garrett's house when I was younger, and it gave me nightmares like fucking. I still have nightmares. I have nightmares from the nightmares that I had when I saw this the first time.
That's good. How about fucking Stop Making Sense, which is not like a theatrical movie, but that great Talking Heads concert movie by Jonathan Demme kind of like created the concert movie in a sense.
They re-released that last year.
Scorsese had already made the band, but they did re-release it? Oh, man. That's awesome. What is that Scorsese movie about the band? Anyway, fuck, I can't remember. Stranger Than Paradise. We definitely should call that up. Another Jim Jarmusch.
Muscle Shoals. Wasn't it like a Muscle Shoals thing?
No, it's about the band. It's about the band who backed up Bob Dylan and
Spinal Tap.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah, but I think they backed him up at Muscle Shoals recording studio in Alabama. But it doesn't matter. I don't move on.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. Shame on us for not having seen it.
Did you say Nightmare on Elm Street? Another fucking
two Stephen Kings in one fucking year. He was rolling in it at this point. Can you imagine? The Cotton Club, which is kind of a notorious movie. Not a lot of people have seen or talked about that movie, but that is one of Francis Ford Coppola's not as successful movies around this time when he was still trying to make movies independently. Purple fucking Rain, baby.
Purple Rain, Purple Rain.
Got to mention that. Okay, that's enough. It is a great year.
16 Candles, Never Ending Story, I don't think we mentioned. And do we mention The Natural? Why do I think there was one more that we missed? Do we say Spinal Tap?
Never Ending Story fucked up an entire generation, dude. That was I love
that movie.
The Never Ending
Nothing,
Story.
Dude. The Nothing.
Yeah, dude. But did we say Spinal Tap?
Dave made a joke about it. I have to call it out. I think it's my favorite Muppets movie, The Muppets Take Manhattan. God, that movie is good,
good.
dude. Fantastic.
I don't want to spill any dirt, but I got a production list recently, and they were crewing up for a Muppet TV show.
Oh yes,
get out of here! That's so cool.
And it wasn't with who you think.
Okay.
One bit of film news: 1984 was when the PG-13 rating came into existence. Who introduced it? We've already talked about this in the show. Who introduced it?
Spielberg.
Yes, Steven Spielberg, because Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom were horror films meant for kids, and parents didn't know what to do with it. So they decided to put something in between PG and your R-rated movies. So PG-13. Do you know what the first PG-13 movie to be released was? This is fun. Red Dawn, starring Patrick Swayze, was the first ever PG-13 movie. That is true.
Piss in a radiator.
Yes.
How about that? Piss in a radiator. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to skip over a lot of the world news. I think the big news, though, is that an American hula hooped for 72 straight hours.
That's big news.
Let's see, what else? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first appeared in comic books. We've been talking about this because that movie made 35 years. Brandon saw Sign, and Matt and Mark. I don't think either of you saw it in theaters.
I'm so mad at myself.
Yeah, I couldn't get that.
I had to get. I think we had to buy a new version of that VHS tape because I watched it so much.
Yeah.
Well, the comic book 84, 87. They're already making cartoons about it. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to say? The Apple Macintosh personal computer went on sale after the Super Bowl ad, the famous Orwellian 1984 Super Bowl ad. Yeah,
the Ridley Scott commercial came out.
Yes, we talked about that. Dave, that's for you. Yada, yada, yada. Again, I'm going to skip over a lot of these events. The Soviets boycotted our Olympics after we boycotted theirs in 1980. That makes a lot of sense. The Olympics were in 1984, so that sequel's coming out in 2028, I think. Maybe LA is actually going to have a high-speed rail and no traffic and no homelessness by then. I don't know. I think that's what's coming. Yeah. The first solo transatlantic flight in a helium balloon took place. That's risky as fucking hell. Holy
Pack
shit.
a fucking lunch for that.
The first untethered spacewalk, also risky. I see it in movies all the time. Virgin Air, yada, yada, yada. Oh,
the Concorde was available, and they took a helium
No
balloon.
No Concorde, yeah. No Concorde. Tetris dropped its first block. That's right. Tetris started in 1984. HIV was officially identified in 1984, which is bullshit. It was totally identified like 4 years later, but everybody was told to keep their mouth shut.
Yeah.
I read Angels in America. Those motherfuckers fucked everything up. Alex Trebek gave his first answer as the host of Jeopardy in 1984. Marvin Gaye was shot and killed by his father in 1984. The first ever MTV VMAs were in 1984, and Thriller did not win. It lost to The Cars. Madonna gave her Like a Virgin performance.
Wait, I did not know this. Thriller lost to The Cars?
Yeah, to The Cars in the first ever VMAs.
That's right.
Swallow that, America.
How about that? How about that?
Yeah.
The Boston Beer Company, makers of Samuel Adams beer, was founded. How about that? Chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream was invented by Ben & Jerry's after a fan anonymously listed as an idea on their flavor board. And the term EGOT was founded in 1984 by a man named Philip Michael Thomas, a Miami Vice actor, who stated he desired to win an EGOT, even though he's never been nominated for any of the EGOT awards. That's right. That is how crazy this year is. But
visualizing. Visualizing.
Who's the first EGOT winner? Do you guys know? Is it Marvin Hamlish? Is he the first?
Hamlish would make sense because I don't think Sondheim got his Emmy until the 2000s.
It's fucking Richard Rodgers, dude.
I was going to say Richard Rodgers, but what did he? I don't know what they won an Emmy for, but yeah, I thought it was Richard Rodgers. And actually, it probably should be one of the Gershwins, but George Gershwin didn't get credit for some of the shit. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
All right, keep going.
That can't be true. Whatever. Top 10 baby names. Let's get into the fun shit here. Again, I'm going to keep it tight.
All right.
Guess what? Only one of your names is on here again.
What a shame.
The lady names: Jennifer, Jessica, Ashley, Amanda, Sarah. Great names, no disrespect. Those are very basic names. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Not a lot of originality here in 1984. Crazy year. Michael, Chris. Actually, I have Chris and Topher separated. I don't know what happened to my fuck. I didn't use AI, I swear.
How did that get in there?
Michael, Christopher, Matthew, Joshua, and David. Dave, you're in there, baby. You're in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go.
I slipped.
A couple prices points here. We got a stamp for 20 cents. A loaf of bread, doesn't say what company, 65 cents. A dozen eggs is a straight dollar, 1.00. Sliced bacon for a pound is $1.85. A gallon of milk, $2.18. Gallon of gas, $1.16. Your average movie ticket, $3.36. I just want to put those numbers into perspective. We're talking $200 to $300 million for a lot of those top movies, and it is a tenth of what the average movie ticket is.
You can't even get a bag of M&Ms for that now.
Maybe like an eighth, a seventh. So multiply that by 7. You're right. An ounce of gold was $308. There you go. You can get that if you want. The minimum wage was only $3.38. I actually don't know if that's true, but that's what I have here. The original Apple Macintosh computer was $2,500, which sounds like a lot for 1984.
I mean, that's great. That hasn't gone up much.
Yeah.
That's like a $30,000 computer.
Wait, I have a really good one. You ready? We'll get there in a second. A new car, the average cost of a new car was a little over $11,000. The average cost of a 30-second Super Bowl ad in 1984 was $368,000. And are you ready for this? I don't know why a house wasn't in here. The cost of 1 gigabyte of data storage.
Oh, yeah.
Was $171,500 for
Holy
1 gigabyte of storage.
I remember buying, I had a Commodore Amiga. And I thought it was so flash, I bought the external hard drive for it, and it was fucking 20 megabytes, and it cost $700.
My favorite part about the sentence you just said is that you said it was so flash.
Yeah, it was
you
so
took
flash.
us right back to the 80s. We're there, I feel it. And tell me the truth.
Flash.
Of course that was on some kind of physical, tangible drive, right?
Dude, it's a fucking box like this big.
Slotted
exactly. Into the side of the computer.
So what would a gigabyte of storage even looked like back then, Dave? What what would the drive?
A car, yeah, it would look huge.
Yeah.
Like a room full of stuff.
Yeah, it would have looked like a bit about the size of a car. Yeah.
We got one of the digital cameras that you could fit a full floppy disk into so that we didn't have to convert it in our computer. It was a big fat old camera, and that floppy disk held like 3.5 megabytes. Now I take one picture with my phone and it's fucking 8 megabytes and I can't send it on email. Like,
take your $9.99, 2 terabytes of storage.
Yeah.
A month for Apple or Google or whatever. Wow.
Top TV shows. For the 83 to 84 season, you had Magnum PI, Simon and Simon. This is 5-4. 3 is Dynasty. 2 is 60 Minutes. And number 1 is Dallas. For the following season, 84-85.
Dallas was huge in the 80s.
For 84-85, Dynasty takes the 1 slot. Dallas takes the 2 slot. And Cosby Show fits in there at the 3 slot. And the A-Team comes in at number 6. So that's what's going on in 1984 on TV. There were a lot of awesome songs. So obviously this is a fantastic year, 1984. We just talked about all those movies. Some songs that come to mind.
Dude, I fucking hated 80s music in the 80s.
Well, how about these? Time After Time. The whole Born in the USA album came out this year. This is what it sounds like when the doves cry, because Purple Rain actually came out earlier than this. When doves cry, Van Halen's Jump. What's Love Got to Do With It? Tina Turner was actually, I think, the biggest song of the year, won a lot of Grammys. The Ghostbusters soundtrack obviously came out, so that was a huge
I had that on a 45, and it glowed in the dark. It was green.
Fucking awesome. One of the top-selling albums of the year.
Yeah.
So is Footloose. Not only do you have the song Footloose, that was a huge hit, but you also had Let's Hear It for the Boy. It was the number 1 single. Like a Virgin, Madonna came out this year. We talked about her singing at the VMAs. And then last but not least, we mentioned Wham before. I think Dave said Wham. Wake Me Up Before You Go came out here in 1984. That's a good list of
classics.
Songs.
Every fucking song.
And actually, you know what else was? I think it's called Say, 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 which is Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. That was one of the biggest songs of the year, too, that came out this year. And I just called to say I love you, Stevie Wonder. Okay. Last but not least, food and beverage trends that I admit, I could not actually get a solid list. So I'm only going to give you 3 that come from 2 different sites, and they're going to make you throw up. You ready? Number 3. The creamy coffee-infused Italian dessert, tiramisu.
I love tiramisu.
Number 2.
It's my favorite.
Potato skins. Hollowed out baked potato filled with cheese, bacon, and chives with sour cream dip. Really big here in 1984. And number 1, according to the website, partygameideas.com. Number 1 food and beverage trend of 1984 was the Battenberg cake. It was apparently named in honor of the marriage of Princess Victoria, a granddaughter of Queen Victoria, to Prince Louis of Battenberg 100 years previous in 1884. However, by the time it trickled down from the tables of royal households to the masses, it was 1984, and the year everybody was serving this classic checkerboard cake at afternoon tea parties to impress their friends who was
why is there a fucking
in 1984? Why would there be tea parties?
Why is there a royalty associated with an area of Germany? I didn't even know that was a...
No, because Queen Victoria married somebody from Brandenburg who was German, and her granddaughter.
Yeah, they used to like cross the channel and like.
And so I'm sure 100 years later,
horny bastards,
Better Homes and Gardens or some shit was like, it's the 100th anniversary of this fucking shit, and it is a checkered board cake.
Awful.
So people probably tried to.
Guys,
it sounds like people were trying to be in the 50s again.
Can we decide right here? And I just want to hear your thoughts on this. Tell me if you think my instincts are wrong. When I was a kid, everybody shat all over the 80s. They were like ashamed of it for lots of different reasons. Hairstyles were crazy. They felt like the economics and the Reagan era was enough to be critical of. I feel like the further away we get from that era, the more people look at it, not nostalgically. They look at it. I mean, I guess there is some nostalgia, but they look at it with a lot more respect.
Things. It looks pretty
they look at it like, there's so much nostalgia now that it's almost like people are looking at it as a time when America actually evolved into something that people are proud of. And they think the music is much more classic than it was considered when the 60s and 70s music was the classics. And then
I
80s
wouldn't know. I was
different.
doing hardcore Australian 80s. So...
sure. I don't know. You were paying attention though. Yeah. Do you guys think I'm wrong? Do you feel like the zeitgeist is kind of looking at that decade differently?
Well, I mean,
dude,
you take a
I
look
was a fucking teen.
Recent hits. You take a look at a lot of recent hits that were set in the 80s, and it makes total sense. I watched Aeronaut or whatever. Isn't that based on an 80s comic? The Argentinian 80s comic. I also think that the more we really understand Reagan, because for a while it was like, well, Reagan was the one Republican that you can swallow, because George W. Bush just wasn't very smart, even though he meant well. He just wasn't very smart, which is why we talk about the 9/11 where he gets told, and he's literally like, what a painter. And he literally is told the 9/11 happened, and he just literally is like, fuck. He's like, I don't know what to do. And that's the look on his face, and everybody knows it. But when you look back, Reagan knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. Him and Nancy Reagan. They made crack cocaine bad. They made the AIDS bad. They let stock buybacks be a fucking thing, which are still happening right fucking now.
5 years in, he's still on about it.
60%.
Worst thing that's happened to our economy of all time. Your 401ks would be the same if there were no stock buyback. Don't let them fucking tell you that's not true. And then why wouldn't you want to scream Jump by Van Halen in 1984, an election year? Why wouldn't you want to? Why wouldn't you want to scream Like a Virgin, just have somebody up there just like gesticulating all over the stage? You'd be like, well, fuck everybody. Come on. We're making crack cocaine bad and you know, come on. So yes, I think the 80s have grown very nostalgically, and I think Stranger Things helps. There's a lot of other examples.
Do you think that some of this is coming from everybody's kind of being a little soft on the economics of the time because we're so fucked right now by an entirely different kind of politics? Like the politics were so fucked and we were critical of it so long until recently where we're like, oh, that's fucking nothing compared to what the shit we're dealing with now.
One, I wasn't here, and two, I was a teenager. All I thought about was girls.
Sure.
Well, what should Disney make movies about? I don't know. God, we want to talk to teenage boys. Apparently having Princess Jasmine look awesome with gigantic eyes and not wearing a lot. I don't know though. Like, God, what should we do to get boys to pay attention? I just don't know.
Yeah. Some things never change. Yeah. Guys, are we a movie podcast? Do we talk about movies?
Thank you for checking your show notes. Thank you to everybody who checked their show notes and skipped ahead to 47 minutes into this episode so we can finally talk about here Blood Simple, the Coen Brothers' first movie. If you look on IMDb, it says that they both directed it, but credited is only Joel. And they admit somewhere, if you look really closely, that Ethan's directing credit was uncredited. And also, Ethan gets the original executive producer credit, along with their buddy. I just had the name up here a second ago, and I have it right here. Daniel F. Bacon. Maybe I just said the price of bacon, so maybe that's why I'm thinking it. Was the executive producer, along with associate producer Mark Silverman, who produced all of the Barry Sonnenfeld shot Coen Brother movies through Miller's Crossing, which he died during the filming of. That's their associate producer. But only 4 producers. The 2 Coen brothers, the executive producer Daniel Beckner, and then their associate producer Mark Silverman. Very small budget. They made $1 million somehow, and they couldn't sell it. They eventually sold it to Circle Films to distribute it. But here we are. We're talking about the Coen Brothers movie, made by the Coen Brothers. Who cares who directed most of it and who produced most of it? They wrote it together. They got this career of theirs going. Also, in 2000, when a famous book came out about directors doing their first films, they hated this movie. And I'm saying that as we're about to start talking about it.
Oh my God, there's a whole YouTube video where they're talking to Barry Sonnenfeld and it's like, what's with the lighting in this scene? And they're like, up him for the rent. It's amazing.
But, sometimes, how they say this with directors always say this about actors. They're like, I always want to keep the first take because it's the most real. It's the most raw. AKA, I don't give a shit what kind of work they did. I want to see them have to fucking problem solve. You know what I mean? I kind of like that with this, with them filming. I like them saying, I don't know what the fucking lighting is. We got to go. We got to move. We got to shoot it. Let's go. Sometimes that can yield the best results, like Greatest British Baking Off. Fuck, we drink on this show, and it usually hits me right around now. So anyway,
yeah, we do.
There's a terrible setup for this movie, so I'm going to do what I usually do. I actually have my Crown Royal. Do you want to take another shot with me on the episode?
I'm going to have to text Elizabeth, my beautiful wife, to bring me another shot. But yeah, I can take another shot.
She's going to open kick the door in with a shotgun, shoot you in the face.
And just as a reminder, Dave gave up drinking for the first 7 months of this year. Okay, I'm going to read the IMDb description. And then sometime early in this description of our conversation about this, we're all going to do another shot of whiskey. I have to give my cat a rabies shot tomorrow, so I need a little whiskey in me. Here we go. Okay. I'm not going to give it to her. I'm going to take her. But, she's never going to trust that car again. She's going to poop that carrier all over again this week. I know it for sure. Okay. The owner of a seedy, small-town Texas bar discovers that one of his employees is having an affair with his wife. A chaotic chain of misunderstandings, lies, and mischief ensues after he devises a plot to have them murdered. First time watch for everybody? First time watch for everybody, right?
Yeah.
First time watch for everybody.
It is available right now on Max, which is now HBO Max again, just like old days.
Wait, is it not yet? Mine still says Max.
Mine definitely says HBO Max.
Yeah, you get what?
Wow. I thought they made you delete the old.
Maybe my app hasn't updated yet. I don't know.
No, they made you delete the old app. They do this very quickly, actually. They're like, you have to delete this fucking app, asshole. They like say it. Not quite like that.
I haven't done that yet. The other one still works.
We've talked about many Coen Brothers movies on this film podcast that we do. We talked about Oh Brother with a guest. No, John and I talked about it on a different podcast. We talked about Fargo.
No Country.
I think that's it. We talked about No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Is that the 3? Is that all we've talked about?
So far.
Excellent. We're doing good. All right.
We talk about Miller's Crossing and Barton Fink and Raising Arizona real soon. Okay. What'd you think? What'd you feel? No stuffy criticism. Let's take it away.
Dave, you go first. I feel like I've talked too much. Go.
Dave always goes first.
I didn't like this at first.
Okay, at first?
Yeah, at first. The dialogue was... Jesus, don't let me finish my thought. Fuck it. Yeah, let's go.
You gave us a stream
deck. That's not
deck.
a small can, by the way.
The dialogue was too slow. The scenes took too damn long. And then somewhere in the middle, I just sort of got what they were doing. Because I don't know whether I got what they were doing at the beginning, but then I got what they were doing. And after that, my enjoyment factor went up immensely.
Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you.
You just heard. What? We're taking a shot mid-show.
Jeff can't talk. He once got food delivered during the fucking show, so,
That's right. And I ate it, and Dave was like, we can hear you chewing on.
We're not sponsored by Maker's Mark, but if they wanted to sponsor us.
I will say, stay off your phone for this one, because there are several blink and you miss it beats.
100% agree.
So, like, say the scenes are long, but sometimes something happens that's so quick, if you blink, you'll miss it.
Back when you had to pay attention to movies.
That sounds like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which came out the year after this.
But this gets across the line for me because it was filmed in Eastman 250T.
What a great stock.
Yeah, right. It's my favorite film stock to watch.
That's a good stock. I want to hear you tell the viewers why it's your favorite stock. The viewers, the listeners, whatever.
Well, it's the curves, man. It's the curves.
You should be curves. And what are curves?
You should be watching though. I'm literally pouring Crown Royal in my cup right now. Don't tell Angela, guys. Don't tell Angela I have a Crown Royal upside down right now.
Oh dear.
Oh, come on.
I got this at a fun.
Doesn't she listen to this? Well, the curves, each individual color has a different curve where it basically shows how the color responds from like 0 to 1. From like black to white of that color.
Is that correct? Yeah. That's correct?
Yes.
Wait, sorry. I didn't mean to buzz you. I meant to do this. Sorry. Cheers to us, fellas.
And
mid-show shot.
I'm taking it.
I'll do the beer.
To put it simple.
Cheers to Blood Simple.
It's about to get weird.
In saying that, I did have a couple of rules. Like here are problems with this. Like the opening shot where they're in the car. Rules is rules, man. They can't see a fucking thing at that windscreen. And it bugged me. Like, I know why it was like that, but you could, like, even with the windscreen wipers going, you could not see out that windscreen. And if you're going to set
are you
something
talking
up,
about the rain, or are you talking about the way they lit it?
The rain. I'm talking about the rain. You just couldn't see a fucking thing. Yeah. Did this mean to be neo-noir, by the way, or could they only afford 2 lights with that budget?
I mean,
probably.
I think everything I've heard them talk about,
they're calling it a neo-noir now. So
they intend everything they've talked about. I'm sure you guys heard it too, and I'm mostly referencing the Team Deacons interview with Joel when they were first starting their podcast. He was one of their first guests, but I've also heard him and Ethan talk about this at a Metrograph screening where I saw Buster Scruggs. This might be the most what they refer to as designed screenplay they've ever written, because they were writing for a specific limitation, multiple limitations.
Yeah.
And that is one of them, apparently. Right?
Well,
the way they were going to be lighting, which is kind of crazy.
They were definitely writing for limitations, but I will say some of the special effects in this, because of those limitations,
the blood,
they've done fantastic work.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I know. The blood work is amazing.
Like this is every low budget. I will say, just to close on my quick summary, every low budget filmmaker should watch this.
That they literally teach this in film schools as first feature. Yeah. Like one of the first feature successes, like how to do this shit.
If you don't have money to make your film, or if you get a little bit of money to make your film, put this shit on, because it will help you.
I am literally like in prep right now for a feature that we're putting together that I think is going to be my first feature and our first feature.
Oh my God.
And of course, I'm like,
is it a 30-minute short script that turned into an hour and 20?
That is technically the first feature, but the world will never know. The world will never know.
Hey, the people we ask for money will know.
This is so, Dave, I guess I want to comment on my big takeaway is that I know what you mean about how it took you a little while to settle in. We are different culturally than we were in 1984. And I think this movie is like a good way to show you that. It's so slow and intentional relative to the kinds of cutting and pacing that we use nowadays, and them included. I mean, their movies nowadays would not move at this pace. You could literally look at this.
Yeah, you couldn't.
And then Fargo, and then No Country, and then something much more recent, like the last one they made together, even like Buster Scruggs in the late teens. And you can see that the pacing, if it's not supposed to be for comedy, they're not going to move as slow as they did in 1984. Like there are moments in their more recent ones where they move slowly.
I did have a thought
like
once. I was like, wow, if they tried to watch, if they made a movie like this in the modern day, people would be on their phones in 5 fucking seconds, because no one has a fucking attention span anymore.
All right, Dave, so I could not help but think about that while I was watching this. And I did like this movie. I did still appreciate, and I do still feel like, I understand why they blew up. I understand why they won the jury prize for dramatic film at 1985's Sundance, which also apparently kind of helped put Sundance on the map, the Sundance Film Festival, which I thought was cool. I understand why Joel Coen tied Martin Scorsese at the Independent Film Spirit Awards for After Hours and Blood Simple for Best Director.
Yeah.
I understand why at that time this movie was surprisingly receptive to audiences that thought they made it for more money, because they do. I think it does look really good and feel like it punches way above its weight. But of course, you can't acknowledge anything about this as a first feature breaking through without looking at how the pacing is pretty slow compared to something like a Sex, Lies, and Videotape that I would say pace-wise, just 4 or 5 years later, moves a lot quicker. It feels a little bit jumpier and feels a little bit more in your face.
Yeah, the other thing is this one doesn't have a subplot. It's one singular plot.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it, because I have ranted in a positive way, which is one reason why they're so amazing. And I know the Coen brothers love these kinds of movies. From the fucking get-go, I was looking I was looking, I was like, what are the things that I see in all their movies after this movie? 2 things for me. Ironic, like bleak, ironic gallows humor, which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
The cul-de-sac, all the turnaround. There were so many things you could point to that were just funny and like, God, that's great. This terrible, horrific, dramatic, tense, violent moment followed by something kind of funny, but not broad, just like bleak and ironic. Well, that was one thing. And the second thing was process. Do you guys remember I've talked about this, like the burial in Psycho and how I was talking about a No Country and Fargo? There were so many process sequences where you're just watching somebody solve a problem for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
This movie, the burial scene, what we're looking at right now on my picture, which, by the way, they shot first. That was the first thing they shot in this whole movie, was the nighttime sequence with him crawling out of the car, crawling into the field, the burial, the dirt, the rising sun the next day.
Were they doing the Godfather thing where they're like, we got to film this first so we can't go back? There's no going
Basically,
back.
Yeah. I've heard different anecdotes, but I think so. I think they had to shoot out of sequence, and I think they chose to shoot this first. That is my favorite part. Do you remember last week when I said I turned on Criterion 24/7 and I saw a burial sequence and I like paused it because I was like, oh shit, this is Blood Simple. I don't want to watch. I want to wait and sit down and watch the whole thing. That sequence in the middle is, I don't know about you, Dave, but by the time this character, which is played by he's such a good actor. What's that guy's name? Don Hedaya.
I'm sorry. By the time he gets shot. Clueless?
Yes, it is. And the husband, Bette Midler's husband, and First Wives Club, and we've seen him all over the place. He's a great character actor.
Italian man that's not quite a gangster, but he's great in comedies. And apparently this movie.
When he gets shot, when Emmet Walsh, the private detective, shoots him, I was hooked. I was enjoying the lead up to it. I was watching it, but I kind of had that first film energy. You know what I mean? I was kind of like, when am I going to really understand why people revel in this film? From that moment, when he gets shot up through the burial sequence, I was like, this movie could end right now, and I understand why these people are taken so seriously. That is really impressive filmmaking.
Yeah,
for your first time,
when it grabbed me, budget. when they let you in on the secret that nobody in the movie knows what's going on.
Dave, you're totally right. I wasn't thinking of it consciously, but the third thing that defines a Coen Brothers movie is misunderstanding.
Absolutely.
Characters not speaking the same language and miscommunicating and leading to violence.
I would go as far as to say Coens are the masters of character driven because everyone in their film makes such poor choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it advances the plot. The character choices advance the plot, not the plot advances the plot.
Yeah, I think
it's like, I best clean up that blood and dispose of this crime scene I found. Yeah. I mean, I get what his motivation was, but damn, he went from like, I like you to I'll help you hide a murder faster than I fucking would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it worked. Did you believe it, though? I guess.
At first, I was like, why the fuck is he doing that? And I had a realization in the middle of the scene, which they gave me time for.
That, and Jeff, I do want to hear your takeaway, but since we're talking about it, I just have to point it out. I'll tell you
later what I thought of the movie.
Shut the fuck up. The scene when John Getz, the male lead, goes to Frances McDormand's apartment, and they have the scene where you're like, is she not going to fucking clarify that she didn't kill him? You know, you're like frustrated by it as an audience member. That, I think, is the first time where it wasn't just humorous and just really good tension building, where I felt like that's kind of like the bullseye of the Coen's world in terms of dialogue and character. I did believe the reality of how that scene progressed, where it built to her finally saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do that. But it was followed by the moment of her saying, when she said, I don't know what you're talking about. And he has his recall to Don Hedaya saying, one day she's going to look at you and say, I don't know what you're talking about. And they have this great sense of humor about it. There's some irony. You feel like you're in on the joke between this consistent jumble of misunderstandings, and yet it felt real. And I feel like that is something that's a magic trick that these guys own. They have pulled it off in every movie they've made since then. And I couldn't think of a filmmaker before them who did it with that dramatic tension. That kind of back and forth. usually existed in broader comedies or more like screwball kind of scenarios. And I don't know. I just thought it was really successful.
Right.
Jeff, what did you think of this movie?
Hey guys, I hate agreeing with you both so much.
Oh, sorry. What?
Don't buzz me. Get the fuck out of here.
Sure. I'll drink for Jeff.
I hate agreeing with you both so much, but I will say this. The actual word that who was it? Ethan Coen said, in this book, the book is called My First Movie, 20 Celebrated Directors Talk About Their First Film. It's from 2000. Ethan Coen said this movie was crude. There's no getting around it. And Joe Coen said, I think it's pretty damn bad. To me, that's like if Mozart heard jazz for the first time and he was like, get the fuck out of here. Because he needed perfect, he needed precise, he needed brilliant. He can't do, ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, that's interesting. That just doesn't work in his catalog. So I decided to make just like a quick little list of things. And I'm not going to say it right yet, but like things that were crude, fine, that I thought were crude. The things I want to agree with them. But at the same time, the things that were the most brilliant about it. And obviously, there were a lot of things that were brilliant about it, but really honest to God, and they're great directors, but it really does come down to the writing. And it's not even just the writing, because I really think the best writers of all time, the best directors of all time are great writers. I really think that. You have the Ethan Hawke thing where he was like, well, what happened to acting, right? In the old days, the best directors were actors, and that, they came from that theatrical background, and they were involved in theater or something like that. And, you have Charlie Chaplin, and you have et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But even Scorsese and Spielberg wrote, right? And right now we have Paul Thomas Anderson, we have Quentin Tarantino. They're fantastic writers. And that helps them direct because it's like they're writing out their visualization. And maybe Steve didn't have the dialogue writing ability because he was a little cheesier than the Coens or the Tarantinos and et cetera. But their writing is really good. So just the story on its own is so fantastic. The leaps and turns and just the idea. I explained to Angela, because I was like, you're not going to watch this, right? She said, no. And I said, let me just explain to you the twist. And you've already given away, John. You just shamelessly give away our twist all the time.
I did. I just went right for it.
The twist of where all you see. Can you just put spoilers on? I don't know. Do we still do that, Dave?
We still do that.
Fuck it. This movie came out in 1984. Okay. Fuck it.
The twist
I still put it on if you're watching YouTube.
The twist
fuck you, listener. If you haven't fucking watched this, then you're don't listen to this fucking episode if you haven't seen the movie.
The twist of Emmet Walsh. Is Emmet Walsh the guy from The Jerk? Is he the one in The Jerk that looks at the phone book and tries to kill Steve Martin? Is it him?
Maybe, dude. He's in everything. He's in one of those people who's in like fucking everything.
I mean, but the twist of him, he's obviously been scouting them out since the beginning, and then he goes to kill them. And then, wait a second, I didn't think about this. Why is it that the guy who hired you to kill these people, who told nobody that he hired you to kill them, why don't you just kill him and take the money and not kill the people he told you to kill? It's like, it's the most fucking obvious thing in the world. And they wrote that on the page. Yeah. That was written on the page that they wrote that. And they also understood the fallout of, wait, we're not going to stop there. What if the only person who you would think would kill this person was the first one to discover the body and then went, fuck, and he was an idiot and didn't watch his detective shows and decided people are going to think I did this, so now I have to hide the body of the person that I didn't even kill.
No, I think his realization was people are going to think she did this.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter. Long story short, neither of them killed him. And now all of a sudden they have to get rid of the body, so back to the confusion you said. That's fucking brilliant story writing. Now let's go back to that's fantastic story writing. The hands, the knife on the hand, all of this is so well written out that it's like they can talk about how crude and this movie is all they want. And they can talk about maybe they got better no country's perfect, right? So it's like, but that is so well done that it's like, a shitty director could probably pull that off. And maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe they actually said this. I heard this, the South Park guys, they said this about Josh Gad. They were like, they would write jokes that would be really funny. And they would have to talk to each other and be like, wait, that wasn't funny. Josh Gad was funny, but the joke wasn't funny. And it's like, he made it hard to write because he would make bad writing good. And so maybe that's why they were like, we didn't need to be good directors because the writing was so good. That's my interpretation of that. I have to agree at the beginning. I felt myself wanting to reach for my phone, and I don't know. Maybe that is on them, or maybe it's actually not. Maybe we talked about this. I talked about this with Mickey 17. We just live in a world where that first 10 to 15 minutes, and you have so many good examples of movies or TV shows where 15 minutes in you have the whole setup, and you don't even realize it because it doesn't feel like it's rushed. That is a real art and a real skill that they didn't need to have in 1984. You didn't need to have the John, who's the playwright? Is it waiting for
Edward
Godot.
Albee.
Is it Albee that said you have to get him in the first 15 minutes, otherwise you lost him?
Yeah, is it Edward? Is it Ed?
Yes, it's Edward Albee, but I thought it was actually an older adage than that.
No, it was him. It was him.
I feel a little bad for them because in the future, because in 1984 they're like, we got time. The people that came to the movie, we got time.
Yeah.
We're good. And I like that it starts with the affair. I like that you can kind of tell early on that they're being observed and they get the phone call and you don't know who it is. I don't need more than that. But why did I want to reach for my phone? So that's kind of like the only thing. And I did write down a couple things that I do agree with are a little crude in hindsight. But other than that, I feel like it's just the fact that maybe that's just how movies were. Maybe they just came from watching the De Palma and the early Coppola, those movies from the 70s. You had time. You had time to establish your story. Because I thought this is a really good movie. It just, for some reason, I wanted to reach for my phone early on, and I don't blame them for that.
People did not give a shit in the same way. It's not that nobody cared. It's just that there was a tolerance that doesn't exist nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you went to the movies to be told a story.
Yeah, there was that contract with the audience, like you're stuck here, so we're going to make sure that you are enticed. I want to point this out too, because I think this is a real sign of the times and something that upsets me a lot as somebody who's trying to break into the industry. This movie was an enormous success as a first film, and it won that Sundance Award. It got that Independent Spirit Award. It was received well in Europe because they thought it was a bigger studio picture. How much money do you guys think this movie made? And it's still considered an initial success.
$1 million.
$4 million.
$4 million.
But this is back at a time where they probably made their money back from blockbuster rentals and
they probably did. I'm just saying that would not fly nowadays.
No.
As seeing that was a successful movie. I mean, if I made a $6 million movie and it made $30 million, I don't think anybody would say it was a pile of shit, not a success. They would still acknowledge that you made more money back than the original production budget plus your marketing. Yeah. They would acknowledge that. But I don't know if it would be heralded as a success in the same way. And I think that is part of one reason that we're struggling with
in the 80s, the movies, like the financial success of the movie was on the back end. Nobody talked about it.
Right.
It was like, did everybody like the movie? Did they go see it? Okay, cool. We made a movie.
And unfortunately, in the 80s, I've tried to find the numbers. I don't know about you guys. We will never know how much they made with their VHS rental back in.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been able to find those numbers. And
I know how much money I gave the fucking Goonies, I can tell you that.
Honestly, dude, I mean, I would fucking,
you hear from Richard Dreyfuss said he still gets like he gets not six figures, but close for Jaws. It's because he gave people money. And this article, I just saw this resurface because of the Jaws anniversary, that one of the kids early on who screams, like one of the kids who survives, I think, he said he still makes like a low middle class salary from Jaws because Steven Spielberg, like he gave people percentages of his own percentage, I think, because he literally was like, I don't know what to do. And he knew they were going over schedule and everything, and they can still make money, but because of the rentals and stuff like that. But nowadays it's different. Sorry, Jeff.
Wow.
I want to go back to what Jeff said about
Richard Dreyfuss makes like $70,000 a year from Jaws.
Jeff mentioned jazz, like if they
Mozart heard
jazz. Because I actually have a note here. It was like there's a rhythm to the dialogue. Like you can almost put music to it.
Yeah.
And you don't realize that again until the way he's in. Like, but there's a rhythm to the delivery of the dialogue. And it's consistent the whole way through the film.
And I think they are shameless about acknowledging this. They've done it since then. But again, it's the first, and it's just great to see. These guys are in their early 20s when they made this movie.
Yeah.
Blood Simple is a
early 20s?
On
early? How old were they?
Ethan was still in his early 20s. I think Joel was like 26. I'll look it up. I'll look it up while you're peeing. Jeff just disappeared.
Yeah.
Blood Simple is a spin. They lifted it from Dashiell Hammett, who wrote Maltese Falcon and a lot of other pulp fiction from the early part of the 20th century. And it is a spin on, he used it as a term when people were not thinking clearly after extreme violence. And that's where the term
I literally have a note here, all in capitals. Oh my fucking God, stop going back to the crime scene. Like,
right? So
they go back to the crime scene way more than anyone should.
They're clearly echoing, copycatting, whatever the word is, like you steal from the best, right? This was a Pulp Fiction film. And Joel has gone on record in multiple interviews and in that podcast, of course, It's basically saying we sold this movie. This is also really fun. I just want to point this out because in case anybody doesn't know this, the way they funded this movie was they made a short trailer, what we would call now like a sizzle or a preview or a mock trailer of the movie. And they literally went around Minneapolis and anywhere else that they could get their hands on. And they showed individual people, not just people with tons of money, just individuals, this trailer. And they basically pitched them on, somebody that this guy gave them a little bit of money for Nightmare on Elm Street. And now that guy's rich. And they ended up building up a capital of $1.5 million.
I wonder if they still pay those
and companies.
Do you know who? Do you know who told them to do that? Do you know who gave them that suggestion?
Who?
Sam Raimi,
who is uncredited as an editor on this film, but he has helped edit many of their films over the years.
The Coens do not seem like people that together. The Coens do not seem like people who want to go door to door selling their movie. That's
don't they? I know, isn't that great? But we got to point that out, right? These guys went fucking door to door, and they were basically saying, to get back to your point, Dave, this is a movie that has pulp and horrific elements.
Dude,
we are also, and that's how we're going to sell it. But then we are also going to sneak in the dramatic things that we think are interesting, and we're just not going to tell the investors.
Emmet Walsh played such a trash human in this. I loathed the guy at first, and then I started to enjoy his character. I was interested in what he was doing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I realized that he's going to be a central part of this story.
Wait,
that is another. Dude, you're tapping into another fun element of Coen Brothers that I think might be singular to them, or maybe they have just own it so well that you see it consistently throughout their canon. A supporting character who is established as a supporting character ends up evolving into having much more impact and focus than you thought they were going to have. They're not consistently the best friend or just the PI who, if comes in for information, they end up having a larger scope. How good was his death sequence?
Yeah.
When he comes to a friend.
It's fantastic.
Oh my God. That filmmaking is,
dude.
I mean, how did they shoot the bullet holes through the wall? How do you think they did that?
I don't know.
Wait, actual gunshots? I mean, that was so
I have a list of things that were brilliant. I think a couple of the things, one is Ray saying, I don't think he was dead when I buried him to Franny towards the end of the movie. And then you slowly see the newspaper in the air and then it slams the glass door. Fran freaks out. She runs to the car. She sees the bloody tarp on the background, which we thought was covered with towels. And then the camera turns and all of a sudden she's at the door of Maurice. And it's like, whoa, like that filmmaking, that's pretty smart. Yeah. I think they pulled that off really well. So I thought that was brilliant. But one of the other things I said was actually the lighting of the bullet holes, because there was a lot of motion in the air. And that's pretty smart, where it wasn't just fog. It didn't look like somebody just like kicked up dust.
Yeah,
every time there's a bullet hole, the light was fractured in a way that was really brilliant and creepy. And Frances McDormand is there being quiet, and you understood that. And why wasn't she running away? Oh, obviously she didn't want to give herself away. It was really well done. That was really well done sequence, but I don't know how.
Jeff, you're tapping into something that I definitely want to acknowledge, and it's something that I'm like I'm a little fearful of, like moving forward career-wise, because we are in an era that is so dominated by naturalism with our streaming. It's just the nature of streaming television and television in general that it's not as, dare I say, artistically expressive as film. That's not a criticism. It just is what it is. I don't think in streaming you're really looking for that. You're looking for story. Story. And with movie making, you're looking for something else. And I could not help but notice every single time they did something that was stylistic, expressive, some fog or dust in the air, looking under a doorway,
or the light where
really
Frances's face would be lit, but her body
holes.
wouldn't be. Like the expression of the light was really brilliant.
Yeah. There were things that were not grounded in realism, just like some of the dialogue, just like these things that really work.
Like, dude, there's actually scenes where the lighting changes sides of her face.
Yeah,
but you don't notice
so
because
obvious,
it's set up like that.
Yeah, but it's hard too. Like, it's intentional, right? It's super expressive. It's hard light. I also wanted to call
Sonnenfeld
out,
was famous for saying you always shoot the short, like you always light the short end of the face.
I mentioned him last episode. What do you guys think? What do you think of Barry Sonnenfeld, who we know as a director more from the 90s and the 2000s with Addams Family and Men in Black? What do you think about his fucking cinematography work? Dude, consciously, now knowing that he shot this?
My favorite shot in the whole fucking film was up and over the drunk on the bar.
And it's so famous, and that's such a famous tracking shot. But
he put comedy in the camera work.
Right? Yeah. Dave, you're so right. Because I wanted to point that out because like it's cliche to talk about that shot, but you know what? It commented on the language of the rest of the comedy. Like it brought you into. Of course, we're watching a movie. This isn't supposed to be realistic. We're watching fucking theater here, and we're going to manipulate it. We want you to be in on the joke. And oh man, you're so right. I thought that was great. There was also another transition. Jeff, you mentioned the transitions when she is looking at the fish. And the safe.
Oh yes, yeah,
and then she falls back onto the pillow.
Yeah,
awesome, dude.
And back to going to the crime scene, they did one thing really well, which is that Ray didn't tell her about this crime, so she goes to the crime scene, whereas Ray just told her about the crime, she wouldn't go there, which is back to the confusion of the characters. Yeah. So she goes there, and then she thinks that it might be her husband. And it's like, it's not. It's actually Emmet Walsh who did the killing, and he's there with the fish. And I don't know if he's mad because the body's not there. Maybe he thought he would go back later. First of all, putting the incinerator next to the building is a little ridiculous. That's probably not the best choice. But
I feel like that was the the genesis of the wood chipper scene.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's say that about
was clearly just a dumpster lit on fire.
Yeah. I was because he said there's an incinerator. I was like, no, that's a dumpster. It's a dumpster, but it has doors on top and the side. That's not an incinerator.
It's a little lynchy, right?
I've seen the Iron Giant. That's not, But what's funny about back to the crude thing. There was one thing that I found that was sticking out to me, but in hindsight, I look back with more amorous feelings than I did at the beginning, which was Emmet Walsh. And they decided to have him do this villainous thing. So rather than tell you anything about him, and to me, it's like, I actually feel like Sugar is a growth of this character because Sugar never laughed, but Emmet Walsh would just laugh maniacally a lot. And for me, that's kind of like in acting class and stuff. It's like, we know that laughing is creepy when you should be like sad or scared. And so if a character like in a tense moment starts to laugh, it makes you more creeped out or suspicious. And to me, I think they might have overplayed that hand a couple times. Like when he was leaving the diner and he's laughing hysterically, I was like, this is probably an overkill. And then there's later where he's like talking, he's like, there's no money in that pocket and the person's dead. You know, like I think a couple of those things may seem crude, but at the same time, it's all sort of operatic. Like he does exist in a slightly different rhythm than the other characters. So that by the time you get stabbed in the hand, and then he's shooting the gun with his non-stabbed hand, and then he takes the knife out, and then Franny shoots him through the door rather than waiting for him to come in. And she says, like, is it Ray? What's her husband's name? Marty. Hey, Marty, is that what you? And he's like, well, you're going to be waiting a long time. Ha, 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 ha. It totally checks out. So maybe the Coens are sitting there and being like, this is unnatural. It's unrealistic. It's not in theme. It's not in genre. It is. They still dotted their I's and they crossed their T's, man. I really, they can be hard on themselves all they want, but I feel like they pulled it off.
Yeah. John, what was your thought?
I said Lynchian, but I do mean that. Like, I've always felt like they have walked the line up to something that is almost surreal because it's almost unbelievable. Behavior with actors, dialogue, expression with filmmaking and style. And yet they never cross that line into something entirely absurd. They walk up to that place where you're like, I guess there is a human on planet Earth that would do that. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't ever cross into that. And you're totally right. I felt the same way. They tied the knot for me when he started laughing at the end and said, I'll let him know if I see him. I was like, oh, that is actually who this human is. But some of the laughter before. Anyway,
also,
Dave,
the other thing, and I feel like we can wrap it up from this point, but the one thing I love the most about the Coens is when it all comes to a head, when you get to the resolve of the film, it's so comically brutal in a way that it makes you think about yourself if you laugh.
Sure.
Because you're like, I don't know if I should be laughing at this, but you are. And you're like, what kind of person does that make me? This did not end well for anyone.
I know. There's a world where you look at this story through Marty's perspective and you're like, God, this guy was fucked.
Yeah.
This guy
he was so fucked.
Cheated on by his wife who cheated on him all the time. And in like a desperate situation, he hired some hitman. And then he like sort of regretted it and then tried to hold evidence against that man just in case he got screwed over. And he, was anyway. I just feel like there's so much
from Ray's point of view.
Oh,
Ray was fucked, and you think about it but on our Mount Rushmore, she's not. She might be on there, Franny. She might be. on
I think
there.
so.
Franny might be on there.
Yeah. She's on mine.
I
if
felt like
she's ever not brought it to a film, I've never seen it.
She's so good.
She tells this story about in the middle of the filming of this movie, she crawls under a table and she's kind of anxious and kind of freaking out about the scene. And Joel
very different
crawled
from
under
Yale.
there with her.
Very different from Yale School of Drama.
Sure.
That's great.
I would imagine.
And then he said, "I want to marry you."
Sure. Being a classical trained actress, though, imagine being handed this script. Their dialogue doesn't always make sense. You know what I mean? There's not always logic, emotional logic to what they say. There's a style there, and it's always hard when you're navigating somebody's style for the first time and you have no comps.
Yeah.
You can't go and watch 3 of their movies and figure out how people talk.
Yeah,
yep.
I'm sure that was a little weird, but I believed her so much. Kind of like what you said about Emmet Walsh, the private detective. I don't know if I totally bought every single thing that was coming out of her mouth. And I'm not talking about the acting. I'm just saying style. I was a little bit where do I place this woman in
she was the only one
within their canon?
She was the only one who had subtlety. Everyone else, there was no subtlety of character. If you're an asshole, you're a complete asshole.
Getz did a little bit when Maurice came to the house and he was like, "Why'd you take the money?" I feel like Getz had some good subtlety in there. But yeah, I know you mean.
Sure.
I know you mean.
Yeah.
But in the end, in that final sequence, I bought her the same way that I bought Emmet Walsh, in a way that lined up with that's just the way this world works. They say these things that don't quite make sense because they live in a world of misunderstanding. But when push comes to shove, when desperation, they're normal people and they're going to react accordingly and they're going to kill people. What did you guys think of, and I know you want to wrap it up, but what did you think of the ending sequence? Because I thought it was really, really, really top notch. All the way, everything about the shooting through the window, the blood, where they brought it the most. I feel like, Dave, you commented on it earlier, but I feel like we have to say it. There are first film failures that have to do with technical execution. That is not evident in this film.
Yeah, that is not one.
The technical execution is pro level. The blood, the gunshots, the knife, the punching through a wall, the bullet holes, the tension build up to a shot through the door, his death, the blood. It was
final
all so
line,
well
everything.
executed.
Yeah, they really knew how to put it home, to bring it home.
Yeah.
The tension, dude. The tension was fucking great. Anyway, did you guys believe the ending? And what did you think of the very last shot with the water, the plumbing, the water droplet?
I kind of like that.
It was a little strange, but I liked it. Yeah. It's the last thing
Just the last thing he would be seeing, the final drip. Yeah.
The last line he says is a laugh, basically, and then he looks at that. It's fucking great. Fuck this guy.
And just in case,
I don't need to know his backstory. I don't want to know his backstory.
Just in case somebody went to a movie theater and there was no one else in the movie theater and they didn't know if they should be laughing or not, the quick cut to directed by Joel Coen.
Yeah.
After the water falls, I feel like that was the punctuation of the Ben being like, this was supposed to be funny. Yeah. This was comedy, intense, but do you know what I mean?
It's like Sondheim saying, "Oh, Sweeney Todd's a comedy." It's like, yeah, okay,
sure. This scene, and that's my last takeaway: the tension and him crawling away.
Yeah,
the lingering
when
that fucking truck comes over the hill.
Oh yeah, so good, so classic. You could have seen that in Hitchcock. You could have seen that in fucking Hitchcock.
Guys, the gunshots from the grave. I mean, come on. How doesn't get
I was waiting for it to go off.
Oh my God, awesome. It is so good. All right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Dave, we've reached that time.
We have.
Clip this for our time zone. That's not how you say that. We had the extra shot today. Thank you, Elizabeth. Appreciate your input there. We got to spin the wheel. We got to talk about what we're going to be talking about next week, which is going to be Labor Day weekend, 2025. What year are we going to be going back to? John, do you have a guess?
1992.
I want to go back in time. Let's go with 47.
Oh, that'd be great.
Here we go.
Spinning.
19.
So close.
30! Whoa! I was going to say the 30s. I swear I was going to say the 30s. 40s, 37, 35, 35, 1935. I don't know why I can't read and talk at the same time. 1935.
Might be
not
this.
a lot to choose from, so it's going to be.
I promise we're going to pick a fun one. 1935.
We like to do what you've been watching now. Dave, you've been teasing us since the beginning of this episode. What have you been watching?
Well, Peacemaker season 2 started. And
Sure.
I haven't started yet, but I'm very excited.
It is fun. They just right at the beginning, it starts with previously in the DCU. So they basically he did retcon some things from the first season. So it changed essentially. I got a little confused, but previously in the DCU means this Peacemaker we're getting was in the DCU the whole time. And it's they're setting up for fun. Like it's definitely going to be is the grass greener type of thing. It tacks right on the end of Superman, so make sure you see Superman because it'll give you some more like knowledge about what's coming or more understanding of what's happened.
John's face. John, you got to see Superman.
Yeah.
Dave, be honest with me. Are they falling into the Marvel trap? Because that did not work for me as a viewer needing to see.
But it made shows like Peacemaker good.
Well, it's kind of all connected. I mean, James Gunn came in and went, okay, anyone who does this character does this for animated properties and everything, the same character. So the same character will kind of tie in, I guess, here and there.
Okay.
You don't need to see it.
To see Superman?
No, they explain a lot.
Okay.
But you should see it. It's a fucking good movie.
Sure.
Like I walked out of the theater and bought it. So yeah. And the other one I've seen is the Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox.
Oh my God! That's obviously
which dropped on Hulu this week. I'm
engaged with someone that loves a good true crime. So.
We did the premiere this week at the Historical Society for Hulu. And
you went to the premiere, Dave. Fancy.
No,
This is about the European.
I was working. Yeah, she was in Italy, and her roommate got murdered, and she was accused of the murder of her roommate.
Did you guys see Sweetwater, the movie with Matt Damon about this that I watched in 2021? You remember me mentioning that?
No,
nobody saw that movie.
This one's actually written by Amanda Knox and produced by Monica Lewinsky.
Holy shit! Well. That enough is going to get people to watch it.
And it helps that it's also really fucking good as well. The first episode was
my
intense.
Murder scene. I would make sure it was very clear they had nothing to do.
Yeah, sure. That's great. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I saw just a couple of episodes, caught up on Platonic, and that's it. Jeff, how about you?
Wow, John, thanks. I
talk so much in my intros and mini reviews. That's it. Platonic, still fun, hilarious.
Oh my God. I saw Ninja 2. I watched a bunch of things with Angela. We rewatched Toy Story 4 the other day. I hadn't seen it since I had originally watched it in the movie theater.
Trash.
It's really funny, even though it kind of negates some of Toy Story 3. I understand that complaint. All I want to say is this:
James Gunn just retconned the whole season. We're good.
In Toy Story 5, can they just notice that the toys are moving?
Jeff's main complaint, his biggest gripe.
I tried to explain to Angela, I was like, it's just the premise. Everything's great. It's good movie.
Is that the biggest gripe in the history of this show? Is that his biggest?
That was definitely a superior rant.
It's that, or it's Nolan's
Dark Knight Rises. I went off. Yeah, I went off on Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, there's been 3.
I'll just say this. I'm mad because I really thought the Yogurt Shop Murders was ending last week, but actually it's ending right now. So when I go upstairs, I'm going to be ready to watch the final Yogurt Shop Murders from Austin, Texas. I thought it was at 3, but it's actually a 4-part. So I'm going to finish it tonight. And I'm sure there's something else that I forget that I hate myself for. And I'll keep a note next time I watch. Did I watch Jason Bourne? Was that last week that I watched that?
Was last week you watched that.
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah.
All right, I watched something else. I don't remember. Okay, let's
we're going to take a quick break.
1930.
Yeah, we're going to pick our movie and we'll be right back.
And we're back.
We're back.
We are back. 1935. Not a ton of movies, but a couple memorable ones. But we just happened to want a movie, thanks to John.
Dude,
but
everyone
also
who
Dave
watched that section on YouTube is going to be like, "What the fuck did they say just before we came back?"
Okay, good.
Yeah. You're not showing them what we said, right?
No.
Yeah, you're showing it. What the fuck? I'm also nervous. I'm also John.
No, that thing is like 600 times speed with no sound. You're good.
We happen to want a movie that's available to stream right now on Max, the same platform that
is
you
that
could have
HBO
been watching.
Max?
It's not HBO. Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody. Dave, fuck you. John, fuck you.
Too.
We are going to be talking about the 39 steps. It's the 39, right? The 39 steps.
I know. Last time I left it, I got mocked by the Matt Mark show ridiculously.
We always end up doing these Hitchcock movies. I hope we go through the whole catalog by the end of our podcast. 39 Steps. That's what we're going to be doing. There's a fantastic play that's a spoof on the 39 Steps.
I have not seen this at all. So.
Have you never seen this?
First time for me.
Yeah.
You would love, I've never seen it either, but you would love to be a technical director or do anything involved with the play because the play has like 50 scenes and it's so great. So anyway, the 39 Steps, maybe it's 39. What the fuck do I know? We're going to talk about it next week. 39 Steps. Anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, we don't do 2 shows.
Nope. Peace.
Bye.